Hi, I'm Cpl Wallman, and this is my experience of my first ever air training corps camp. Once we arrived, we were given our billet numbers and the flights that we were in. Everyone from the squadron was instantly split up, but it was fine because once we got into the billets, we instantly started getting on really well with all the cadets there, and obviously we were spending a week with them, so it was a great introduction to the camp. So day one of the camp consisted of us doing command tasks. So they were leadership tasks that were given to us on a 15 to 30 minute basis. Our next activity was abseiling, which meant we had to climb a 200-foot tower and abseil off of it using a zip wire.
Let's keep that left hand low.
Our last activity was clay pigeon shooting, which involved us shooting clay targets that were ejected into the sky. Next day we did 3 more activities. Raft building. We had half an hour to build our raft of barrels and wooden planks. Next up, we walked to a forest to do some paintballing. We put on helmets, grabbed our guns and walked around the forest shooting targets, which were minions. The other side of the forest, we completed an archery activity where I hit a bullseye almost every single time. On day 3, we got to participate in arms drill and STEM activities. For arms drill, we were formed up in an open box formation and taught various drill maneuvers whilst holding the L98 rifle. There was also a parade at the end of the activity where we got to put all of the maneuvers into practice. This was a unique experience that not many people had ever done before, as were a lot of the other activities on the camp. For the STEM activities, we were on a rotation for 3 separate tasks. These were rocket launching, water bottle launching, and the egg drop.
Hands up who actually reckons this is going to survive. Yeah. Solid. You all reckon it'll survive?
The next day we were transported to an MOD facility, standard training ground, to complete the training day for the next 28-hour night operation. Each flight was put on a rota, which consisted of all the activities and skills we needed for the night that would follow. This included activities like cam and concealment, cooking in the field, and movement in the field. The next day, we had the night operation. So quite early in the morning, we were deployed in a random location in the training ground, and we organised our flights together, got our bags, and then set up our harbour areas in the forest nearby. We were then assigned specific roles like communications or the runner and sent out to do various different tasks. Out on deployment, our first task was to escort a news crew across the training ground, safely keeping them away from hostiles. Our next task was sentry duty. We had to defend a hangar from potential hostiles. At around 2 AM, we got back to our harbour areas finally for some much needed rest. Not soon after, however, at about 5 in the morning, we got up again to complete our final task. This final task consisted of us gathering information on an armed vehicle and then stopping it, preventing it from moving any further. We were transported back to the camp after our night operation for then our last activity, the PT session. However, this was not our last activity. There was a possibility of flying in a Chinook in the camp. We were organised into chalks and then ran over to the helicopter wearing our helmets and protective equipment, where we took our seats and prepared for the 20-minute flight. So it was a really surreal experience being on that helicopter. First time going powered flying, and yeah, you could look out the window and just watch, because it was a low altitude, high speed flight. Just watch as you were zooming over the trees, it was brilliant. And yeah, the camp as a whole was also just one of the best ones I've ever been on, obviously. I've been on a few more since then. And it was nothing like anything else I've ever done. Obviously you should go on it. It's one of the most impactful camps you can ever go on, and yeah, it was such an experience. Look forward to seeing you all in the next one.